Welcome to the latest episode of this week's Acca, sponsored by Sky Bet ACCAFREEZE. I'm Tom and joined by Jake, Jimmy and Joe to deliver our selections. League action returns this weekend, although the Premier League is on a bit of a winter break, but there's still plenty of games to discuss as we make our picks. As ever, let us know your thoughts in the comments or through Sports Alive Football social media channels. And remember to keep it fun. Never bet more than you can afford. This podcast is 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Last week, then, it was the FA Cup. Not too many shocks, not too many surprises, yet seemingly the ones we wanted to win did not win. Should we have a quick recap of last week before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, well,
2 wins, 2 draws and a loss, I believe, was the final outcome of that one.
just been...
That's not that bad.
It's 3 losses technically to Acca, but you know.
Yep.
Not terrible.
Crucially, it didn't win, but I think 2 comments on the YouTube video sum it up best. Brian Bennett, friend of the pod, says, was going to do dry January, but after last week's effort, needed a stiff one.
Stiff what, Brian?
Stiff what? Woo. But my favourite is from Kahad Judge 219.
His real name?
That's a good username.
He said, what you boys know about football, you could write on the back of a stamp.
Oh,
I mean,
cheers, mate.
he's not wrong.
To be fair, stamps are now bigger than they used to be.
Yes,
They're a bit longer. No, rectangular more than square. Yeah, annoying one, wasn't it? I mean, there's the one surprised me. Newport didn't beat Eastleigh, despite the fact Eastleigh had 10 men, were away from home in the FA Cup. Mansfield, the one that...
First home league.
Majority, yeah. I think he was going to come eventually, really,
Yeah.
but that was an unfortunate one. And the Hull against Birmingham, FA Cup, I saw the price drift. Did you expect? You didn't really know what to expect in that game, let's be honest. They were the 3 that let us down, and then Solihull and Rochdale were the ones who won. Yeah. Disappointing.
Stenhouse Muir one as well, just for... we've got a couple of comments on the
All again.
Ryan, Jake was right on Stenny. Perhaps it's worth casting the net wider.
No.
Jake.
Here's Jim. He was my cheerleader for the day.
Only comments I got were literally about Jimmy's chickens and wanting updates. And maybe, if they've not got names, we can name them.
We'll work out some kind of competition format, and you can go on that.
How many are there to name?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom's not happy about it.
Enough chicken talk. Enough reflecting on the miserable run that we've been on, and straight into this week's Acca. I've said it then, there's no Premier League, of course. Well, there is 2 games on the Saturday, no 3 p.m.s because of the winter break. But then we've pretty much got the entire Champ, League 1, League 2. National League goes because I think it's FA Trophy. So there's still a lot of football to pick from. Who would like to kick us off? Has anyone got a particularly strong fancy they just want to get straight into, chuck it out there, we all agree, shake hands and move on with life? Jake, you're nodding.
Yeah, I've got one, and it's a surprisingly big price. It's Northampton at home to Wigan. We're getting 11-8. Obviously, Northampton...
This is a surprising opening gambit. I thought there'd be others you just go, yeah, let's just get that one in.
I really want this in. Like Northampton, they've been the 3rd best team in the league over the last 10 games. They've won 7 of those 10. Won 4 of the last 5 at home. Overall, won 7 of 13. And Wigan, away from home, have been, just poor in general. They lost 6 of the last 10. And they ranked 20th out of 24 on underlying process away from home. So it seems like a really poor travelling team against a strong home team that are in that banging form at the moment and pushing towards the playoffs in League 1. And I'm shocked at this price.
You know a bit about Northampton, more than the rest of us. Talk to us.
So you can see here, Tom, I got a big old blurb here about Northampton, 11-8 to beat Wigan. Not actually something that I'm putting in as a recommendation, though.
Want to read that line?
Yeah, so been banging the drum with this one this season, but so far fallen on deaf ears with you lot, is what I was going to say.
Word for word line.
So Northampton Town doing brilliantly this year into the top 10 in League 1, and every time they got promoted over the last 6 or 7 seasons they've got relegated straight away and not really put up much of a fist of it. And what's changed this season is that they've overhauled the playing style to try to be more competitive in the 3rd tier. So statistically, that's meant that they've had 49% possession this year. The last time that they were in League 1, they were hovering around 41%. So last season, they were 51% possession when they were one of the best teams in the 4th tier. So to only drop marginally when they've been promoted is massive. for a team that's more of a direct style of play. So it's a big thing to try and overhaul your playing style. We've been promoted. It's a long way for me going about to say I wouldn't be building an Acca around this. It'd be one to hold back towards the end because I saw Wigan play against Barnsley on New Year's Day and was really, really impressed with them.
Yeah.
And I know they had the point deduction that they overhauled pretty early in the season with a strong start, but they were really good. Barnsley were leggy, didn't play great, but they were really good. I thought they held up really well against Manchester United in the FA Cup as well, to be honest. So having seen them twice recently, then I wouldn't feel comfortable backing against them early on when we're building an Acca. I would consider putting it in and keeping an eye on it early on if like a potential, if you're backing something on a 2-up or an ACCAFREEZE because it is a bigger priced selection. But I won't be building an Acca around it. Jake's points stand about the brilliant form of Northampton. They've turned it around from the last couple of seasons. Everything's been built on away form. This season, they're one of the best home teams in the division. And I think it's only Derby and Peterborough that have taken more points than them over the last 8 to 10 games in League One. So they are in excellent form. But it's the eye test thing with Wigan the last 2 matches that Wigan ought to have beaten Barnsley by 2 or 3 goals on New Year's Day. Somehow didn't.
See, I'm shocked by that because you just look at Wigan away from home and their results against bad teams have been really bad. Like before Barnsley, and like Barnsley, I know we had a good discussion about them on Monday in the office just around what they need to kick on and really challenge. But overall this season, they haven't been massively good. Like they've not really. I know they're in a good position in the league, but as you say yourself, they've not really hit that stride. You as a Barnsley fan think that they've been fortunate to be where they are, based on what you've seen. And then if you look back, they lost away at Reading, they lost away at Port Vale. They beat York City away in the Cup, which fair enough. Drew with Leyton Orient, drew with Tranmere in the trophy, drew with Cheltenham.
Yeah. Can I just say some time here? Are you in with this? I'm not arsed.
To be fair, Wigan, I have a slight issue opposing against them because they're just such a young team that just it's that traditional young and fearless, and you don't know what you're gonna get. I think they're the second youngest 11, I think, in League One after Peterborough, maybe. That's the only thing. I always have a bit of a thing against young squads, and that.
Let's move on.
Yeah, honestly, they were really excellent against Barnsley. I won't be surprised to see them pick up in the second half of the season. It wasn't like
I don't think it's happened in Northampton.
They played very well. It was a good price though for Northampton.
Good price. Great explanation, fellas. Thank you. But let's move on.
Go on, Jim Rod, then, if you want to move on.
I'll go. My first pick is not necessarily my strongest, but West Brom 3-4 against Black.
I have this. In terms of the odds-on selections across, it's a weird slate that I am in a weird place where I think I fancy more away teams, bizarrely, this weekend. But in terms of home teams that are odds-on, West Brom to Blackburn. One that jumped out, but I've stolen your thunder there. Please go on.
Dare you. The Championship taken, it's so tight. The middle region is so tight. It seems to be the case increasingly year after year, this time of year, that it's just so tight. There's as many points between Leicester and Southampton in third, 13, as there is between West Brom in 5th and Stoke in 19th, which underpins my point pretty damn well. But I think if you take off the sort of top 4, Leicester, Saints, Ipswich, Leeds, I think West Brom are the best suited side to fill up the sort of vacant 2 playoff spots, the 2 remaining. Everyone sort of know what I mean. You'd agree with that.
There's basically 2 playoffs.
What the playoffs were called then? the
thing.
Playoffs?
The thing. Yeah, to be fair, there are, I think everyone accepts that there are probably 2 playoff spots open in the Championship. It's obviously going to be 2 of Ipswich, Leeds, or Southampton. Probably Ipswich and Leeds, maybe the way it's going. West Brom are in a strong position. They're a really good home team. And Blackburn, who we spoke about last week against Cambridge, who remarkably they then won the game 5-2. Cambridge took the lead twice, and the whole point of backing them was that Blackburn can't defend. Yep. They cannot defend. They have a great thing called Sammy Schmodix, who scored a lot of goals.
Where the hell has that come from?
So it's basically like, it's not really balancing out because they still can't keep goals out at the other end. And yeah, I'd be all over West Brom this
Push this one over the line. Then, so since Corberan came in, October 2022, then
it's with a home step.
They had a couple of days and they lost at home to Sheffield United. But since then at home, 120, drawn 6, lost 3, and then Blackburn, they've won once in the last 8 league games and lost 6 of them, 8-11. it feels like a...
One of those losses as well was Leicester, where they were just daft at the end, weren't they? They got a bit carried away of, let's go for the win, come on, we can do this. Have we left anyone back for this counter-attack? Oh, God, no, we've been done late on and we've got nothing from this, but they could have potentially got more than a point out of that one. West Brom.
West Brom.
I think we're leaning towards this to be a first selection in the Acca, if we're all happy.
Oh, yeah.
There we go, then, nice and easy. West Brom to beat Blackburn is the first pick in this week's Acca. We'll discuss our second selection shortly. So West Brom to beat Blackburn is the first selection in this week's Acca. Who would like to kick us off with a second one? As hey,
You
I'm
go.
gonna take it. I've got a few here actually that I don't know which one to go for. A lot come from League Two. Wrexham to beat Wimbledon. Does anyone have this game down at the moment? It's 10-11, or it was when I made the notes on it. Oh, thank you. Wrexham, 10-11 still as a home team. Wrexham are just a good home team anyway. 10 wins from 13 this season. Wimbledon, I think, have travelled well, to be fair to them. However, Wimbledon are a team that I'm really interested in opposing this month.
No, why?
Why?
I don't think it's warranted.
Why?
The absence of a certain goal scorer.
Certain Iraqi.
There's Ali Al-Hamadi's away at the Asia Cup. Omar Bugle, is it? He's away as well. Is it Evans has been recalled by Stockport as well. They're losing players this month at the moment. They then go to Wrexham, who've just been really good at home anyway. And I was also looking at Wimbledon, who are a team I've liked. I've kind of backed them at home in certain games this season, but they've been unable to win any of the 5 games against those currently in the top 5. So you combine in a good home team, slightly depleted away team, and I say slightly, that's also missing top goal scorer, forward options. Big emphasis on Josh Davison, is it? Who's now going to have to really be the main figure of that attack for the next few weeks. To me, at 10-11, if it was the normal, if this game was in, say, not November, because there's an international break then, December, where both teams are fully at strength, ready to go, I'd be a bit more hesitant. But you're talking about a Wimbledon team who basically 2 to 3 starters of that team will not be available, or have the starters that they have had. To me, 10-11 just seems a really nice price on, a team who we spoke about so much as well, Wrexham.
It's even money, general price. I think Wrexham evens at home against pretty much anybody. You'd have to have a real small short list of teams in that division that you wouldn't want to be backing them when you're getting an even money price. That's it's like the long and the short of it for me. Wimbledon, they're okay in that league.
No.
Have you seen their dodgy results?
Wrexham would beat them more than half the times that they played them at home. Therefore, it is a bet.
Couple of things. You said they were 10-11.
Yeah.
They're now even money.
No, it's not.
Sorry, I was looking at
on
Sky Bet.
Sky.
He's looking at the Sky Bet price, general price.
It's not drifting.
I thought you did it.
You're floating
yesterday.
around
I thought they were
even money.
drifting.
No.
Move on to your next point. You had 2.
Yeah, I think the importance of Al-Hamadi
The top
is
scorer.
overestimated. It took him a while to get firing at the start of the season, and Wimbledon was still picking up plenty of points. His first league goal didn't come until the end of September, and even then, you look at how the goals have come. They've been in gluts. He's got 2 or more 4 times and 1 hat-trick.
I'm going to throw that one back to you, mate, because he was playing really well by all accounts. Gab Sutton was telling us this, that he wasn't scoring goals early in the season, but all-round play. So it's not just...
Gab keeps
goals.
touting him to every championship club as well, I find, whenever he's on podcasts.
not-
Have you considered Ali Al-Hamadi?
Not just goals that they're missing.
It's the whole structure of a team, right? The goals are obviously a big thing, but it's how then the whole team is structured with certain players in, and then you start to replace and certain things get changed. And I'm not saying that suddenly that it's going to go terribly for them, Wimbledon are going to massively dive off, because as a unit, they're a pretty solid unit. There's other players in there who can more than contribute, particularly the midfield area with Reeves, players like that. But, I mean, the price on Wrexham, who are a good home team anyway.
The best home team in the league at the moment.
A
on record.
team
Yeah.
going strong as you'd expect, have a well-defined style of play with quality players in this division. It just, to me, it immediately jumped out as one of a few prices this weekend that I just put straight in Acca with no real issue.
Get it over the line, Jake. Go on.
Yeah, absolutely. We've the Wrexham home I've been banging that drum for a long time since the start of the season. The data's stayed strong. They've scored 41 times in their home matches as well, which, in 13 league games to score 41 at home that's an incredible rate. And as I said just before, Wimbledon's recent form has been really odd. Like they drew away at Salford, a team that have been absolute freefall. They then go and lose. They lose at home to Sutton, team bottom of the league, and then draw away at Forest Green. And then either side of that, they've had a win against Colchester and a win against Crawley. So it's been really hit and miss from Wimbledon, whereas Wrexham have been model of consistency recently. And, they had a poor start to the season, but they've got the title in their sights now. They're only 2 points behind Stockport with a game in hand. They'll be wanting to push hard and make that next season of the Wrexham documentary even better.
Jimmy don't like him because of FA Cup last year.
No, how dare you?
That's correct.
Yeah, he's been slagging Paul Mullen off before.
I like Paul Mullen.
His behaviour was disgraceful.
You don't have to like
in
players.
that FA
Don't like
Cup.
him.
You don't have to like players to
Don't want
admit
my
that
name on
They
anything.
were awful, so that's why you don't want to get Wrexham on side. Anyway, it's going in.
I don't want them in. Final point for any listeners who may care. They drew with Wrexham in the reverse, drew against Crewe, lost marginally to Stockport, battered Notts County, drew away at Mansfield. This is a team who knows how to get results against the best sides in the division. I just think...
You just picked out the good ones.
Give me a minute.
What about the other ones?
What other ones? I'm talking about the best sides in the division.
What about all the other ones?
Who do you want? Who do you want? Because
Barrow.
They actually drew at Barrow.
All right. Just shouted
Oh,
teams.
that you nerd. And if anything, going to the best side in the home at home in the division without your top goal scorer, who Gab reliably informs us is monumental to how they play, is only going to solidate them defensively. It's only going to make them harder to beat.
Now he's making up words.
Make them harder to beat.
Solidate.
So it's going to be more solidate.
You've combined solidify and
yeah.
consolidate are the two words you've gone for there.
Thank you for the English lesson, fellas. Put them in if you want, but I just think there's enough to make me reluctant to put them in a five-fold.
Yeah, but you've got a team in Wrexham scoring 3.2 goals per game.
And they've grown up out of that, conceding 5 every other home game, haven't they, early doors? And goalkeeping, let's be honest, as it turned out, was a big reason as to why.
And they've got so...
What would I know about League Two? None of us saw Mansfield losing last week. Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
I'll be your cheerleader now.
Do I not have some stock in the bank for that?
No, you don't, because earlier on you were taking piss out of Jake for saying about Stenhouse Muir, and look, he's doing exactly the same now.
I'm just sick of hearing about bloody Stenhouse Muir.
Hypocrite warning.
Sick of it.
They did win.
The only
Should we get it locked in and move on?
only defeat they've had is 5-3 MK Dons, and that was early doors where we spoke about it, and it was mad, and then they
Forced
conceded
Ben
5.
Foster to retire.
Yeah, basically, and then after Swindon he went, this ain't happening, is it? Let's go on, and then from there it's been considerably better, as you'd expect. 2-0, 2-1, 2-0, 2-1. Normal results. In games of football, they also beat Morecambe 6-0. 10-11, even money, we're talking on Wrexham.
I think the price is...
This is 100% going in. It's just we've let Jimmy blow off some steam.
He's happy now. though.
Okay. I tell you what, you can open up the next section, right? We'll take a little bit of a break, and then you can open up one and try and convince us all to back it. Are we happy with the way this has gone? Happy enough?
Don't be more cross.
Okay, reasonably not too unhappy with the way this has gone.
I'm very...
Majority rules. Let's get them in. Right, that's it then. Joining West Brom and Blackburn in this week's Acca, we're going to Sky Bet League 2, and we're taking Wrexham for a home win over AFC Wimbledon.
One thing we've all got in common is having that one leg of an Acca let us down. From spending your winnings in your head to cursing that last-minute equaliser that broke your heart. But it doesn't have to be that way. ACCAFREEZE from Sky Bet gives you the power to freeze a winning score early. Even if that team goes on to lose, Sky Bet will settle it as a winner. It's time to take action. It's time to ACCAFREEZE and end the game your way. Visit skybet.com for full terms and conditions.
So we heard how ACCAFREEZE works there. As you know, the podcast is sponsored by ACCAFREEZE. I want one team from everyone that you would freeze in your Acca this weekend. Jimmy, go.
And I first just say what a nifty little feature ACCAFREEZE is. No, I'd probably go Wimbledon at Wrexham.
Yeah, typical. We all saw that coming. Jake?
Wednesday, 7-1 at Saints. They're on a roll, started fast, and the high press could catch Southampton out.
Go.
Cobblers to beat Wigan, 11-8. Like Northampton at home, good price, but Wigan are a good team. Could see them getting a late equaliser.
Cheltenham away at Bolton for me, 6-1. They've scored first in 5 of the last 7, and they beat Portsmouth last time out as well. There are Freeze teams. Back to the Acca. So far then, we have West Brom to beat Blackburn, we have Wrexham to beat Wimbledon, and I promised him first go because of his unhappiness at the last pick. Jim Rod hit us with a potential third selection.
Please be a good one.
Pardon?
Please be a good one.
With your best shot.
This is probably my favourite pick. Peterborough odds against at Charlton.
Yeah, I had this one down, to be fair, as away teams go.
That's
And I
good
like
start
a lot of away teams. This is a good one.
Oh wait, I'm always worried about saying away teams in front of you because you don't like it, do you? But I'm glad you got them down. I didn't realise that Charlton haven't been good all season, really.
Where the hell have you been for the last few weeks? I've been banging this drum for ages.
I know, but I just thought them sinking. Well, they're closer to the dotted line than they are the playoffs.
Isn't that a dotted line?
Pardon?
Isn't that a dotted line?
Both dotted lines.
Or would you? I suppose,
It's just how we talk.
dotted line would be relegation. Your solid line would be top end, wouldn't it? I suppose. Yeah, fair enough.
To the dotted line than the solid line.
You can have dotted line. Carry on.
Can I continue?
Yep. Sorry, I rudely
They're
interrupted
closer.
you there.
They are closer to the playoffs, to the
You
relegation.
got the stat wrong.
Shit.
Move past it.
Basically, they're not very good. They haven't been very good all season, and it's something that I've overlooked because of the name, the stature of the club, which is it's stupid by me. But they're winless in 9, 1 win against the 13 sides above them, and only lost 1 against the 12 sides below them, which tells to me they're exactly where they should be, middle of the road, slightly below average. And I don't think much needs to be said on Peterborough, one of the hottest sides in the country at the minute. They are so hot right now. So odds against, good.
I had my notes, a really strong team. Peterborough, Charlton continue to struggle, and that's even with certain absences for Peterborough as well. I still think they'd get the job done here.
Do you know what blows my mind? The best striker in League One. They don't even want him anywhere near the squad.
It's been working though. The way that
It's not even. That's not set in stone either. So they played him against Barnsley because Barnsley is.
he played
against physicality. So if they really need him, they'll put him on. So
they're
still
happy to
flexible
move him
about
on
it.
though. They are happy to.
That's
move
how
him
good
on.
they are.
I know.
and it's Jay Jones who's been up front, who's been just as good for the whole system.
Yeah, he's good.
I've got it.
I was surprised by this. I was surprised by this price. I thought the way top end League One teams are and the way that they're kind of priced and stuff like that. I thought in this game, team out of form, team really good, but it would be far short than it is. It seems a bit of a value pick for me.
It's not even just a team that's really good. They are the best team in the league. On all the underlying metrics. Jim Rod loves his underlying metrics. I think that you were going to talk about that point after this, weren't you? But
you must remind me to send me those spreads after the show.
I will do. I know you love a spread.
All he does when he gets out of it is send me the spreadsheets. Oh, Jimmy, shut up about the spreadsheets.
That's it. But yeah, they've been phenomenal for a long time now. All season long, they are now the best team in League One on the underlying data. And like you said, Charlton are just floundering at the moment. So I've got them.
Yeah. In?
Should we just go for it?
Yeah.
This is nice and easy.
What price was it?
Well, you're getting around 6 to 5-ish generally, I think, on the price.
Yeah.
That's a big price, isn't it? Are you happy, Jim Rod, now after the whole Wrexham, Wimbledon, Fury anger? I'll just go with
Fury. Yeah, I'm over it.
Fair enough. Right, the away team, the first away team then of this week's Acca is the third pick, joining West Brom to beat Blackburn, I should say, and Wrexham to beat Wimbledon. We're taking Peterborough for an away win at Charlton. There's your away team then. No more away teams. No. Not with our run of form.
These rules, aren't it?
Not with our run of form. You can't.
Team per pop.
Not with our run of form. Unless there's an absolute nailed-on away winner. You've got to say home comforts.
I feel so shackled by these rules. My turn now, anyway. Isn't it?
Yeah. Going to throw an away team, right?
Yeah, chuck an away team. Laptop shut and storming out.
I got some pod news to disclose as well. I think people should be made aware of. Big news.
Getting shut down.
So from tomorrow morning, me and Jimmy are going to start carpooling.
Oh, from Friday the 12th of January for anyone listening.
Yeah.
Who was in charge of the music?
Well, that is actually that's a big case in point because Jimmy's just got a new country music CD, haven't you?
Well, it's not.
It's nice that you two actually live nowhere near each other as well.
I know.
This is- you're going to meet in, I'm going to guess, Woodlesford. Going to be your meeting point.
Well, it depends whether I'm willing to let Jimmy be around my children or not. So it
think
can
we know
be
the
up
answer
from
to
my house. Well, actually, we were supposed to start this morning, weren't we? And then
Yeah.
it turned out I had to do the school run. And I remember Jimmy's not allowed within 40 feet of a school.
That's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame we've had to go with that.
Or McDonald's.
Yeah, thought you were better than that.
Yeah. Did you?
How dare you throw my past conviction back in my face?
You probably make it clear you're joking there, just in case.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We think.
He would be a good manny.
Brilliant news. I'm delighted. I hope the car journey goes well and you have a great
On the
time
subject though of
listening to
mannying,
country music.
on
The subject of what?
after
Mannying.
mannying, looking after small children when you're
Mannying.
not directly related to them as a male.
Male
It's
nanny.
a real thing, you know.
Is that the
well,
phrase?
I don't remember they got on Friends. Anyway, but I me birds got two nephews and one niece, and we took them swimming during the Christmas holiday. Barnsley Metrodome. What's
I know
the?
you were supposed to be at work, mate. I was trying to get him to.
You messaged me going,
Where's all this stuff?
I'm going swimming. Like, you what? Hang on. Go on.
Do you know how hard it is to keep three youngest children alive?
No.
God, it is impossible.
Yeah. So you took
I hope it's not impossible.
So you
almost
took them.
impossible.
Making something
took-
really bad.
You took them to a venue filled with water.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Did they enjoy it though? Did they have fun?
Yep.
Did you get on diving boards?
Yeah, I went on the middle one.
You only did middle. You didn't go top.
That one was shut, thank God.
Can we please
Taught them though that
Have you been Metro?
back to yes,
Yeah.
not to the swimming pool, but I've been to the Metrodome. I've been to Barnsley. I've been to Oakwell.
What did you go to the Metrodome for? Have you go to the
I know. Snooker.
Snooker.
Yeah, he's guessed it. What
They've
a
lo-
venue.
They've lost snooker now, haven't they?
Yeah,
Darts.
yeah. Went to Ponds Forge very recently.
Yeah.
This isn't a snooker podcast though,
You also
right?
have diving board.
We've had. I'm sick of hearing about diving boards. I want to hear a fourth Acca pick. And Joe, it was you.
Okay.
Where are we? Get
Yeah, I'm
back
gonna-
on track,
I'm going to
please.
read about the stats of this team and then see if you know what it is. Most points at home in League One this season. Won last 6 at home in all competitions and 8 from 9. The team that they're playing at home are really bad. They've only won 2 of their last 17 league games. Interestingly, a run that was triggered by them being beaten 9-0 at home in the EFL trophy. And they have
Blackpool.
1 point from the last 8 away games.
Blackpool to beat Exeter
8
because they got
15.
turned over by Reading, wasn't it? Who did them 9-0 and.
Is that too short? That's my-
If you didn't know the fixture there, surely that's a very convincing argument I've just made.
Yeah.
Haven't
Well, I've
Exeter
got it down
started to
as
pick
well,
it up a little bit though?
They really haven't.
Haven't they?
Nope.
At home they have.
1 point from the last 8 away games. Won 2 of 17 league games.
Yeah, but how many have they drawn?
They are facts. And Blackpool won the last 6 at home. Set 8 of the last 9 at home.
Blackpool definitely fall into the category of back 'em at home and don't.
Yeah,
touch 'em away.
8 to 15.
I thought we'd excluded Blackpool on this podcast.
Blackpool's
I
still
thought
on the
they'd,
naughty
I
step in
thought
my
they'd
eyes.
screwed us over too many times. And
This
I,
would just be classic Blackpool just to screw us over again.
Yeah.
8 to 15 on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, fresh start.
they're a cursed
Personal
team on this
betrayal, yeah.
podcast, are they not?
Yeah.
It feels like every time we've gone, oh, let's go for Blackpool, they've lost. I'm sure we backed them at some point this season to beat someone they didn't.
3 at home.
We backed someone else to beat them, and then they won that game.
Yeah.
Don't let personal agendas like that get in the way because
fair, I had a
Absolutely
Yeah.
let personal.
I know this one was Peterborough. Tom had a real agenda against Peterborough for a while.
I like them as a club, but they kept screwing over my bets.
Yeah, we've had to get past
about
that.
10 years ago, by the way. This was about like Darren Ferguson's like third of 100 spells or something at the club, and I've moved on. But it feels too recent, the Blackpool one.
I need Blackpool.
Do you know,
I need it.
like, it might be a valuable price, but as short as it is to put in amongst 5 teams, it makes me uneasy, regardless of who the matchup is. And especially,
To be fair,
I'm getting
I
real
have-
deja vu for. I'm the only person who hasn't trumpeted their own suggestion that didn't win last week. This is
so let me just stop you there. Let me just stop you there. then.
I haven't.
This is
And you got 2
I
right.
haven't said anything.
no, but yours won, so you don't have to, do you?
Yeah, true.
This is just the same as last week.
I'm the only one who.
What was
That's
it last
the same.
week? What was it?
4-7 Sheffield
Oh,
United.
Blades. Yeah. I
Just
was
the
with you
same.
on that. It was.
It's like they're going to win. and win comfortably. And we're like, I don't know, because they might not win.
This is why you two just get on my nerves. You started off by saying, I'm the only one who hasn't trumpeted. And then you start going,
This is just the same conversation.
It's got it from
I was with you there.
Yeah.
It was
Trumpet as well.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not sure what Chris Wilder's going to do. Here's the facts. Here's the potential. What do you guys think? Because Gillingham is shortening.
You're talking your way out of a parking space.
How dare you?
This is this is very interesting. Next week you're going to tune in and we're going to be on one side of the desk and these two are going to be on the other because there's a clear divide in the podcast. I haven't said prices and I'm sorry about that. I should have updated on prices as we went along. Currently the treble's around 6-1. You had Blackpool 9.5-ish to 1. That would be the one thing I'd say. I to be honest,
Not getting much positive reaction here.
well, the logic of me says yes, but there's something just in the back of my mind about Blackpool, having done it multiple times, and I swear we've put them in about 5 times, one way or the other this season. I'm sure they've only delivered about once. And logic always said before then. And that's when we thought, these are good prices on this team at home, and then now it's like...
Give us another one then.
Can I go? I've got 2. Crew to beat Swindon.
Yes.
We backed them to lose last week because we're like, it's a lot more hits. And then actually now those past couple of results have probably made me go, you know what, maybe they have kind of stopped the mini slump. Swindon, same again. Jake Young's gone. Dan Kemp's gone. 16 goals each in all comps. They were 2 of League Two's top 4 scorers. Positive January for Crew as well. Still 5th in the table, still in a good spot for playoff involvement. Their only home defeats have come against Barrow and Stockport, and Swindon have lost 4 of 5 away against those currently in the top 9, the other being the 5-5 draw that we spoke about earlier against Wrexham. It seems like just Swindon, the unhappiness that's there and everything that's kind of going on against another team who have had a bit of a mini slump, seemingly have turned it round now, and got that huge result against Mansfield last time out. You get in Swindon travelling... basically even money on the opposition to win, who are a good side anyway. It just seems a good time to oppose them. I mean, to be fair, the way they're going, a lot of good times are opposing Swindon away from home. But now, particularly in the short term, when they've lost a lot of goals, and I knew they drew with Colchester, who had fancy Colchester to win that, but they just changed about a yada yada. It just, to me, seems a good price. Seems a really, really good price considering where Swindon are at. If you ask a lot of Swindon fans what's going to happen this weekend when they go to Crewe, a lot of them will say they're probably going to lose this game. This, to me, seems a very, very nice price.
Not my mate, Positive Johnny. He's always looking on the
Positive
bright side.
Johnny sounds real, doesn't he?
In a word, are you having Swindon?
Having Swindon?
Are you having Crew?
I'm really angry, but yes.
Absolutely.
Let's
Countdown.
I don't think we need to waste any more time on this.
The countdown to Swindon.
Crew and Blackpool, and we're done.
The countdown to Swindon is on, says this Crew Alexandra tweet, promoting tickets. The first reply is from a Swindon fan. Congratulations on the 3 points. So why would we ever argue with Joseph Seymour about this? He knows more than we do about Swindon.
Yeah.
Crew, talk to me. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Swindon's results have been bad for a long time, even when they had Young and Kemp.
There's so much
They've
unhappiness.
lost 9 of the last 15 in the league, which...
Imagine if they didn't have those goals.
Yeah. They'd be
And they
nowhere
didn't
near.
have that little start bit.
Where's your intervention here? Why are we still talking about it? All 4 of us have said it's in. I thought you usually start gobbing off by now.
Oi, fucking shut up now. They're in. There you
Fair
go.
enough. Jimmy's concluded that very well. There we go. The fourth pick then of this week's Acca joining West Brom, Wrexham and Peterborough. We're taking Crew for a home result against Swindon. We'll talk 5th selection next. It's time to pick that 5th and final one, because at the moment we've got around 12 to 1, a nice price, but I feel that there's potentially one more selection in here looking at the fixture list. We've got West Brom, Wrexham, Peterborough and Crewe so far. As I say, they're 12 to 1. Who would like to kick us off? You. Not heard from you for a while. First.
I've got a couple of home teams left that I quite like. I'll go with Reading at home to Port Vale first. 11 to 10. Won 6 of 13 at home. They've won the last 2 as well, which have come against teams around them in the league. And Port Vale are, I think, they're 7 points ahead of Reading. So it's a big game, really, for Reading. The home process is positive. The last 6 home games against teams in 17-4 or below, they've won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. So against teams bottom end of the table, Reading performed very well at home. And actually, over the last 10 games in general, Reading are 8th in the form table in League One. Port Vale are 15th, and away from home, Vale are not very good at all. One of the worst teams on underlying data when travelling. And we got a shorter price than this when Reading played at home to Exeter a few weeks ago. And I know Exeter and Port Vale are probably a similar level, to be fair. So I think that this price is value. We're getting 11 to 10. That was the first one just to throw in the mix.
Don't know on this game.
Really? Did
No.
you just say Exeter and Port Vale similar level?
Yeah.
How dare you? I'd quite rate Port Vale.
I don't know on this one. I just don't know. Does it not just scream a game that finishes 1-1?
Well, Reading seems to do the business against teams in and around them. That's for sure.
Strong case, keep it moving, because I'm not sold on that either. What do you reckon? Because you said you got some strong selections.
I don't mind this at all. I've got it. So I've got it down. And, like Reading at home, hate them away. So 21 points at home, 6 points away, and then recently at home, then 1-3 drawn, 1 lost 1. The defeat at home to Barnsley, where they played really well, conceded 2 late goals, probably deserved a point, and then the draw at home to Oxford, another one of the best teams in the division, but also a massive local derby. So you'd be happy to take a point. So recently, very strong at home, but also just very good at home and absolutely appalling away from home. And Port Vale, they are similar to Exeter in terms of the trajectory of the season. So started very well, and then they've just been terrible since. So 6 points from a possible 24 away from home since their form started to really tail off after a decent start to the season. Won 3 of the last 18 league matches. So really on a bad run of form, stretching back to end of September. So I would have had it in probably instead of other ones around the even money price, because I do think it's a real value bet. Yeah, you know what? They might end up drawing, but I think Reading are a real value at odds against.
6 and 7 in terms of picking them as an Acca. 6 wins, 7 losses if you had them in your Acca as a home team, Reading this season. That's what I would say. That's the only.
You can cut things up any way you like, because
when it suits my argument.
We're looking at like the recency of form, and that would be like us not taking into account whether a team's improving, and just looking at overall stats in an entire season. That's not giving a clear picture of how good a team is this Saturday. And thinking about how good they've been in their last 5 home games is a much clearer picture than a team who had no players at the start of the season and we all thought were definitely going to get relegated. It's probably not a surprise that they've started to get better as the season's gone on, especially.
And just overall, like, you know, you said that away from home they've generally been bad, but the results away recently have been very good. Like, they've been to Cheltenham, an informed team, drew there. They nearly beat Peterborough at Peterborough. One of the best team in the league, a team that we've absolutely hammered in, get them in the Acca straight away, pretty much. They went there and drew. So they were just showing overall signs of improvement, which suggests to me that they can do enough to stay up, and these are the kind of games they've got to win if they are to stay up.
Just a time, Jimmy, just chuck another team out. I just want to hear other suggestions before we make that 5th and final selection, because we've got West Brom, Wrexham, Peterborough and Crewe are locked in as 4. Just like to hear some others.
Yeah.
Just for comparison, prices, yada yada.
Scratch that itch for you, babe. Cambridge 23-20 basement points. Fleetwood is who they host.
It was on my maybe.
Really?
Back Cambridge, yeah.
Really?
New manager.
Everyone in.
Yeah, it's still a new early days manager. We don't know what Fleetwood are going to be like under Charlie Adam. Nah.
I got a pretty strong idea.
Shite.
Yeah, I can't be having it. Well, I don't. Yeah,
On the topic of new managers, Crawley to beat Salford at home 10-11. New manager who was sent off 14 minutes into his first game. So was Adrian Mariappa in a game. I don't know what happened, but 2 players got sent off, so I think there was a bit of handbags there late on. They then scored a penalty to salvage a draw at home with Forest Green. Crawley, I can't believe, if you said to me at the beginning of August, and the end of July, yeah, you'd have Crawley this season, Acca, wouldn't you? I'd go, no way, they're finishing bottom, no points. They're going to get relegated as the team who are bottom. If they get into the playoffs, Scott Lindsay is definitely in conversation for manager of the year. Everything going on at that club, and last season he came in January, finished really strongly. They kind of steadied the ship a bit. They're in with a great chance of potentially getting in the playoffs here. Good home team, nice team in the way they play and the way that they try and kind of build up. And my lazy analysis would be, why don't Notts County just get Scott Lindsay? Because they kind of do the same thing, don't they, in the way that they play against another team who have just been bad. Managerial change. How much effect is that going to have? I'm not too sure. And then he gets sent off anyway. I don't know what he did, but he looked very, very surprised by it. 14 minutes in. Hell of a debut from him on the touchlines there. That's 10-11 near even money. it's just one again that I feel, a good home team, outside shout for the playoffs against a team who are struggling.
Yep, I've got this on my list, and I can tell you what he got sent off for. He held onto the ball to stop.
He did, yes. Yeah.
After the 14th minute.
14th minute in.
That's like something you do in like.
It's quite a small pitch, though, isn't it? You know, you're quite close to it, you know, and obviously it's just got in his way, hasn't it? And he's gone, there you go. I'm sure that's what happened, really.
I'd
feel
Crawley down, so I wouldn't be
in this.
I'm definitely with you on the fact that
over Reading, I think if
Crawley,
we had a head-to-head, I'd just feel more outside shout for playoffs team rather than one we're gambling on having a bit of improvement.
The thing I liked about Crawley is that they've won 8 of the 13 home games, they've lost 5, but 4 of the 5 defeats have come against teams in the top 7 currently. So they've against teams basically not very good, they do the business, and Salford definitely fit that category.
I've got over my personal bias on them.
In similar vein, 7 home games against sides currently below them, only lost 1. So
I've got, like I said, I have no opinion on the club whatsoever, but I had a personal bias because I had them. I thought, they're going to get relegated. Something's going to happen this season off the field, and it's going to just go capitulate, yada yada. They haven't. It's gone the complete opposite way, and now I'm just like, you know what? Just get on board with them. This is a team who are like even money. Yeah, have shown how good they are in a clear, defined way of playing. Had a bizarre win at Bradford, didn't they, last time out, where they scored a penalty and then scored again.
He's like one or the other, Reading or Crawley. Unless we've got anyone else.
I've been won over by Crawley.
I feel a bit better on Crawley.
Yeah. They are like in the frame for the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I just don't think
if they got promoted, honestly, like even just getting into the top 7, he'd be in the conversation for manager of the year. This is how much of like a surprise overachievement this has been, and if he gets them promoted, Jesus Christ! But this weekend against a Salford team who have changed manager, but surely not be there.
Yeah, so he's upstairs.
I'm not suggesting that we do this for our Acca, but maybe as like a little side hustle. Like I could see myself building like a 7 or 8 fold this weekend. I like a lot of these.
Yeah, I'd throw Northampton. Reading.
I mean, if we had
been scratching around some weeks, but this feels like it's actually hard to cut ones out.
I was going to make that point when we weren't sold on Blackpool because this is the longest list I've ever had.
Yeah,
I had quite a lot.
I really like Blackpool and Reading, but those 5 I like that were.
There's a lot of prices.
I like all 5.
A lot of surprise home teams that I think price will shorten by kickoff. There's a lot of there, like Wrexham we spoke about, Crawley, talking around even money. I'm not saying, oh my God, this is ridiculous, but it feels like any other week they're like 3 to 4, like 4 to 5, pushing that way. So yeah.
Does anybody else have anything else? That
No.
I mean, I don't mean to put in.
All right.
Just to say, no explanation, just to say.
Yeah.
Bristol City to beat Preston away.
I had them.
95.
I'm at 15 to 8.
Barrow to win at Sutton.
I had Barrow.
Careful of Steve Morrison, new manager, but Barrow 11 to 10 to win away at the worst team in the league.
I had Accrington at home to Gillingham at 7 to 5.
Same.
Gillingham have scored
too sure.
6 in 10 away games.
Yeah. Very low event team, and they have been either side of the managerial change.
That's a lot of nice.
Happy?
Happy.
Yeah.
Should we wrap that up then?
Let's wrap it up.
This week's Acca, then, I think we've settled on 5 teams, and I've done that thing. No, they're kind of in chronological order, so that's fine. The 5 teams we are going for then, we have got West Brom to beat Blackburn. We've got Peterborough for an away win at Charlton. And then into Sky Bet League 2, where most of the focus is this week. We've got Crewe to beat Swindon. We've got Crawley to beat Salford. And we have got Wrexham to beat Wimbledon. Coming in pre-boost, we're talking around the 24 to 1 marker. Nice little 5-fold that. And as we always say, remember to keep it fun. Never bet more than you can afford. Please gamble responsibly. And make sure you get in touch with us through the YouTube comments on Sporting Live Football social media channels. Let us know what you think of that Acca. And, of course, head to sportinglive.com/football at 3 p.m. on Friday. You'll be able to find the link to back that at an enhanced price with Sky Bet. And if you haven't already, deep breath. Please follow, rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your chosen podcast provider. There's midweek games next week? Someone quickly get the schedule up.
So no, I think it's midweek. I think it's the FA Cup replays.
It is the FA Cup replays.
About second legs, but I don't know if there's enough there to go at.
Now, we'll be back next Thursday.